Last week, we put out a video talking about how I believe Black Clover was a great manga that was given an okay anime adaptation, but probably deserved a bit better. On that same day, the series received a movie, one that, if it performed well enough, could mean that we can get our beloved anime back. So the question today is, was that movie any good?
この責任は私が取る。
さてユリウス。
なぜわしらの考えを否定するのか。哀れなり。
私はまだまだ戦えるぞ。残りの全部を使った一発をぶち込むしか。僕に夢を見るのはやめろ。そうじゃねえ。
It would mean the world if you can like, comment, and subscribe to let me know you guys are enjoying the content. We also have a Patreon and Discord in the description below, so check that out if you're interested. Now back to the video. First off, before we get into the review, I want to shout out the amazing vid we put out yesterday talking about Demon Slayer's newest season. Yes, we mentioned the 3D. No, we didn't hate the season. If you haven't watched it yet, I highly recommend it after this one. Also, guys, again, thank you for all of the love you've been showing us. This channel is growing at like an intense speed, and yeah, you're kind of dope for that. Anyway, let's talk about Black Clover. So Black Clover Sword of the Wizard King finally dropped on Netflix along with a light novel providing a bit more of the story. And after what felt like a lifetime, man, does it have a lot riding on it. Ever since the anime went into production hell, we knew this movie was our chance to show Studio Perio and the team just how bad we want more Black Clover. Now that it's all said and done, was it all worth it? Going into the movie, I was nervous about a few things. For one, I was nervous that the animation would look like it was scrounged together off a budget of shoestrings and good intentions, but honestly, I was pleasantly surprised. Sure, there were some cursed 3D and silly frames, but there were shots that were so genuinely pretty that I had to hold back tears as I thought back to our video talking about how we believed it deserved better. Like, our baby finally looks good. The movie was stacked with fights, by the way, maybe even too many, and we'll touch on that in a little bit. But since there were so many fights, there was a lot of action, which meant the animation had plenty of time to show off, and I can honestly say it came, it saw, it conquered. The animation isn't the only thing we're here to talk about though. Let's discuss that story. The TLDR of it all is that a Wizard King with the power to unlock and lock anything, yes, his power is the magical equivalent of a janitor's master key, decides the world is better off under new management and gets his other old, previously dead kingly friends to join in on the fun. Now it's Asta and company's job to stop them. The story is fine enough. Personally, it didn't quite reach the heights of the manga, but since it's just a short movie as opposed to a full arc, that makes absolute sense. My only real complaint story-wise is that since there were so many characters to show off, some really didn't get as good a spotlight as others. But what a good problem to have. I mean, we get to see pretty much everyone show up. All of the Black Bulls, most of the captains, Sally's crazy ass shows up for the fun, and we even get a surprise appearance by co-captain of the Black Bulls and local coolest dude, Noct. Lieb even makes a small guest appearance. I mean, look at this boy. It felt like seeing a bunch of old friends again, and I think that was what made this enjoyable for me. After talking about the show last week, it made me realize just how much I miss seeing them all in this format. Hearing and watching the characters interact in the animated medium is just a dream come true, so that alone made the movie absolutely worth it in my eyes. Let me be clear, I don't think it was on the same level as, say, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero or One Piece Film Red, but as a Netflix original movie, I don't think it was trying to reach the heights that those movies went for, it being a smaller release and all. With a cast this grand, it meant the fights had to be spectacles, and as I mentioned in the animation portion, they definitely held their end of the bargain there. However, as I also mentioned in that portion, was I believe maybe there were a bit too many characters fighting. While it's a real treat seeing certain team-ups and certain matchups, it also just becomes a lot of visual noise and tons to keep track of. I mean, I wasn't like struggling to keep up by any means, but some fights were certainly more interesting than others, and I think they could have cut a few moments. Again, I'm forcing myself to critique it so it doesn't just get an automatic pass, but I watch Boruto, so my standards are clearly low. While we are talking about characters though, let's discuss the all new, all old Wizard Kings. Now, the 3 Wizard Kings, Princia, Jester, and Edward, are all cool in their own right, but we don't really get much deeper than face value, and a few slices of bad story here and there. So, if you're looking forward to learning more about these guys, good luck finding it. Conrad, however, the big bad of the film, is absolutely sick as fuck. Not only is his design raw, but throughout the film, I found myself liking him more and more until his final moments in the movie where I feel his character all came together in the best way possible. He was a Chad. He really felt like he was on the level of the manga characters in terms of writing style, and since he was indeed written by Tabata, that made sense. The light novel I mentioned previously covers his backstory, and honestly, I wish they showed it in the movie. I think it really shines a new light on his character and motivations. Without the context of the light novel, Conrad just seems a bit like a kid throwing a tantrum because the royals are a bunch of meanies, when in reality it's because they like murdered his fucking wife. So, yeah, I mean, kind of made sense now. I honestly think, as I mentioned before, we could have cut a few fight scenes down and replaced them with flashbacks, fleshing out Conrad just a bit more. But as it is, he's still cool in my book. And again, if you are interested, then the light novel is there, wherever it is. I had no idea where to find it, so if you want to find it, I don't know, go to Google. We also get more of Julius, and that's my guy. But the characters, both old and new, aren't the only things that make this movie stand out. The music was fire as well, although with Black Clover that's rarely a surprise, and you may or may not hear a certain little opening pop up in a very important moment. And I may or may not have literally jumped out of my seat singing it. I'm 28 years old. There's really something for everybody, I think. The movie is considered canon, and with the tie-in light novel, we can actually place it on a timeline so people can't pull the whole, why would I see the movie if it's not canon BS. Also, for all of you power scalers out there, have fun, because I don't know how the fuck you can scale whatever the hell this is. It's a fun movie. Nothing game-changing, but also just a huge reminder that Black Clover's the shit. To have me sitting up cheering for the power of friendship at my age really is something. That something is pathetic, but, you know, it's something nonetheless. If you are looking for a fun, action-packed shonen story with hype fights, ridiculous powers, and a script that legit on 6 separate occasions has Asta and Conrad say that their magic is never giving up, then this movie's for you. All this to say I recommend it. If this video at all piqued your interest, I say watch it. I imagine you'll like it quite a bit. Anyway, I'm done talking about Black Clover for a little bit, so what should I talk about next? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you everyone so much as always for all the love and support. We seriously couldn't do it without any of you, so always remember that. Love you all, and until next time, goodbye.